Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. In the previous lesson, we started to take a look at the second source of knowledge described by the Holy Quran. As usual, the link to the previous video as well as the book under study, The Philosophy of the Teachings of Islam, is given in the description below. Today, we will be learning about the nature of divine revelation. So let's get started.
اسمعوا صوت السماء جاء المسيح جاء المسيح.
In the previous lesson, we learned that in regard to the hereafter, our knowledge arrives at the degree of certainty by sight through divine revelation. This is when God directly speaks to his servant and should not be confused with inspirational thoughts produced by the mind. His Holiness states in this regard, "What then is revelation? It is the living and powerful converse of the Holy and Mighty God with a chosen servant of his, or with one whom he designs to make his elect. When this converse starts in an adequate and satisfactory manner, being altogether free from the darkness of false concepts, and is not composed merely of a few inadequate and meaningless words, and is full of delight and wisdom and grandeur, then it is surely the word of God with which he designs to comfort his servant and to manifest himself to him. Sometimes revelation is vouchsafed to a person by way of trial and is not equipped with full blessings. In such a case, the recipient is put on his trial at this elementary stage, so that having tasted somewhat of revelation, he should order his life along the lines of those who are true recipients of revelation, in default of which he would encounter frustration. If he does not adopt the ways of the truly righteous, he is deprived of the fullness of this bounty and is left only with vain boasting." His Holiness explains that millions of people have experienced such revelation in the past. However, they were not equal in the quality of their experience, and according to the Holy Quran, this also applies to the prophets of God who enjoyed different ranks before Allah in terms of the revelation they received. What this shows is that revelation is a special favor from God. His Holiness also explains that true revelation is like a dialogue between two friends, which is characterized by divine majesty and light, and contains matters of the unseen. Similarly, it is only bestowed upon those who continuously progress in faith and righteous deeds. His Holiness also adds that it is a distinctive quality of the religion of Islam that it enables individuals to reach the heights of spirituality and achieve divine converse. In relation to his own experiences in this regard, he states, "I would be guilty of doing great wrong to my fellow beings if I were not to declare at this stage that divine bounty has bestowed upon me the status which I have just defined, and has honored me with the kind of converse, the features of which I have just set out in detail, so that I should bestow sight upon the blind, and should guide the seekers of the one who has been so far lost, and should give to those who accept the truth the good news of that holy fountain of which many speak, but which few find. I wish to assure the listeners that the God, meeting with whom is the salvation and eternal welfare of man, cannot be found without following the Holy Quran. Would that the people were to see that which I have seen, and were to hear that which I have heard, and should lay aside mere tales, and should run to the truth, the cleansing water which removes all doubt, that mirror through which that Supreme Being can be seen, is converse with the divine that I have just mentioned. Let him whose soul seeks the truth arise and search. I tell you truly that if souls are charged with true seeking and hearts develop true thirst, people would search for that way and would seek that path. How can that way be discovered, and how can the intervening veil be removed? I assure all seekers that it is Islam alone which conveys the good news of that path. All other people have since long sealed up divine revelation. Be sure, however, that this seal is not imposed by God, but is an excuse that is put forward by man on account of his privation. Be sure that as it is not possible that we should be able to see without eyes, or should be able to hear without ears, or should be able to speak without a tongue, in the same way, it is not possible that without the help of the Quran, we should be able to behold the countenance of the true beloved. I was young and am now old, but I have not encountered anyone who has quaffed the cup of this visible understanding except out of this holy fountain. Bringing us to the end of today's lesson. In the next lesson, we will be taking a deeper look at the third and final source of knowledge according to the Holy Quran. As usual, I have linked the previous video as well as the book under study in the description below. Make sure to click the bell icon so you can be notified of future episodes, and please do subscribe, like and share this video so that we can enable as many people as possible to benefit from the treasures left behind by the Promised Messiah alayhi salatu wasalam. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.